Good morning, everybody. This is a very impromptu. I'm getting so many questions, so many emails. I want to do this very quick live. I don't have enough room on my phone. First, I wanted to tell you that I attempted to record this morning a hidden object flying over my house. It was a loud hum. I turned on my recorder on my phone. I lifted it up in the air as I'm walking to my gate. I open the gate. You hear me open the gate. The plane disappears, so I turn off my phone. I get back to listen to it. All the visuals are gone. You can see that at the very beginning, you could see part of the gravel that I was videotaping, and then I lifted it up in the air, and everything turns completely black. I will upload this video later so you can witness what happened, that object, whomever is surveilling me, turned off my camera and audio so that you could not hear this object, this unseen object in the sky tracking me. Onto the lawsuit. I'm getting so many emails from people about this. Why? Why? Because I'm a voice in the community, and pretty much everybody knows who I am. I've got a Quora page. I moderated Chief Damon Jones' podcast for 2 years, and I performed all this research, and I stayed up until 2 o'clock in the morning talking about all this stuff. I have provided evidence to a lighthouse over the years, which completely is ignored, totally ignored any of my evidence. So we're going to dive into this just very quickly. Okay. So, first, somebody, a subscriber, has been posting the information about the attorney leading this case. She posted it 5 times. I never saw it. It never came to my page. I've got a back end page. I have never seen it. She posted it 5 times and it keeps disappearing. So I posted some of it, and I have a feeling I know why. You cannot add the email address. You can add the other information, but you can't add the email address. Facebook will block the email address. Okay. So that may be on the Facebook back end. So I have posted that information minus the email address. Okay. Um, all right, let me get to somebody sent me. Okay, so they sent me information that this attorney stated, and I'm going to read it to you. Ana Luisa Toledo, she's the attorney on this case. Dear friend, oh no, a friend used to remind me, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Many of you may have read the 99-page lawsuit that targeted justice filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Texas. It's a must-read for anyone that wants to understand how we ended up as a TI. Well, we already know that, folks. We've been educating ourselves for many years. For obvious reasons, we can't articulate our strategy at this time, and many more cases we anticipate will follow. Okay, you hear that, folks? Many more cases we anticipate will follow. But that doesn't state that they will be filing those cases, right? They're anticipating that many more cases will follow, meaning that you and I may follow up with lawsuits based upon the outcome of theirs. And I want to tell you that when they ask about signing up on their website, that's not to be a participant or plaintiff in the lawsuit that was just filed. You cannot be a plaintiff in a lawsuit that has already been filed, such as this one, where the plaintiffs have already been named and the dollar amount has already been added. You cannot participate in this lawsuit unless your name is stated there. The fact that it casually mentions 3,500 or more members means nothing to you or I, because the plaintiff is targeted justice. And if the plaintiff targeted justice wins a dollar amount, they will use that money as they deem fit. And it may go to 3,500 people that are members. It may go somewhere else. Unless your name is specified in the lawsuit as a plaintiff, you're not getting a dime. Okay. And that's the way it goes for class action lawsuits. Your name is mentioned, you sign up for it. There's a back end where you have to provide your personal information. I did not see any memo about this lawsuit asking any of us to sign up for this lawsuit. So I just want to be clear on that, folks. So if you sign up on their website, and I've already been told by more than one person that they tried to sign up and they couldn't. No, that could be blocked. It could be something on the website. It could be on the person's phone or whatever. So let me finish here. So it is a must read for anyone that wants to understand how they ended up as a TI. For obvious reasons, we can't articulate our strategy at this time, and many more cases we anticipate will follow. There are too many players that have to be brought to justice one step at a time. We owe it to our membership to explain a few details of why we only included 17 plaintiffs in this initial case. This case is the bedrock upon which we can build the rest of our claims. The main goal of this case is to have the court declare unconstitutional and illegal the terrorist screening database subcategory of non-investigative subjects, NIS. This is their main goal, is to declare it unconstitutional. Now, folks, we've already discussed this. What about the silent hit list? What about all the other lists? And what about the fact that once you're on the list, you get shuffled around? So, okay, I could see the strategy here. Let's get rid of the subcategory NIS. Well, as soon as the FBI gets this lawsuit, they will create a new subcategory and they'll move everybody onto the new subcategory. Or maybe we'll all be a silent hit. Because that ACLU document is from 2016, based upon information provided up to 2006, 2007, 2008. So we are already more than a decade advanced. There could be multiple more lists in this database. And once you get on the list, guess what, folks? It trickles down to the subcontractors. The subcontractors, the cops program, the city, the state, the town, the local criminal gangs. You think getting your name off one list is going to prevent your targeting? I think not, folks. I don't believe so. But it certainly is a start. Let's get rid of and declare unconstitutional the non-investigative subject list. So it's targeted justice mission to get all of the names of the, get this, 450 members that signed up for the lawsuit off the NIS list. So guess what, folks? If you're not one of those 450 members, now in the lawsuit it says 3,500 members. So what is it, folks? Are there 3,500 members or 450 members? Maybe it's only 450 members that have paid a donation. It's just a wild guess, folks. So they will carry out discovery and scrutinize how each one of you ended up a target. That means the 450 members. Now, I know a lot of people that signed up for their membership years ago. Does it mean that they're still a member? I don't know. What does it mean, folks? So let's continue. Furthermore, we have asked for the list to be declared unconstitutional on many grounds. Well, I agree with this. Please bear in mind that I am also a solo practitioner suing powerful entities with unlimited resources. If I didn't stick to a small group of plaintiffs, defendants would drown me in oppressive discovery to detract from the main goal, to wit, having the unconstitutional NIS list tossed out, one bite at a time. So, my response to the individual that sent this to me, I said, "This is absurd." There are several watch lists, including the silent hit list. The criminals will move everyone from the NIS list to another list. This logic is nonsensical. Half of the plaintiffs mentioned no one has ever heard of. Perhaps they paid their way into their lawsuit. Because I know folks that get severe torture in this program. I'm one of them. I just don't have Havana syndrome. I'm not a former whistleblower or FBI agent. I never worked for the NSA. I never worked for the FBI. I never worked for the government. I was a divorced single parent placed on a torture list, asset stripped more than $300,000 in Manalapan, New Jersey, and then declared a terror threat by Lieutenant Thomas Mantle of the Manalapan Police Department for walking on my own driveway, which no doubt placed an incident in an incident report, triggered another event, right? Placed me on another list to be tortured for the rest of my life, as I am here in rural Kentucky. So, no, folks, I don't come from some powerful background. I'm a regular divorced single parent targeted by the Manalapan Police Department criminals, nonprofit cat rescue criminals, and I know at least a dozen other females just like me that are getting far worse treatment than from what I understand about those plaintiffs. But I digress, folks. Okay, I digress. Oh, yeah, so I'm gonna read some of the comments in the chat here, and thank you so much for this impromptu. Someone says, "It means that everyone else gets effed over." Yes. And then someone says, "Since I called out my father, a 32-degree Mason, retired cop, for being a child abuser, I have noticed people following me, vehicles following me, etc. A bunch of dorks chasing a hero cookie." Well, yeah, this is the way it works, folks. This is a revenge for hire program. And even if it gets out of the FBI's hands, okay, they've got the lists. They've got 5 or 6 lists. And who knows, by now, there could be multiple other lists that we just don't know about because the ACLU has not completed an update. The ACLU's report was 2016. That's 7 years ago, folks. And that was based upon FOIA information they received for 2006 and 7 and 8. We're talking about years of information that is lacking from the public. It is concealed, right? So, and what about, it's not just about declaring one portion of the terrorist watch list unconstitutional. There are it's multifaceted. What about the silent hit list? The words in and of itself constitute torture. A silent hit. It kind of reminds me back in the day when I was growing up, and you'd see the mafia guys and they talk about getting a hit on someone. Let's hit that person. But back in the day, the mafia had morals. Maybe they weren't what you and I think of, but I didn't see them torturing children. They didn't torture children. They didn't go after divorced single women. They had some kind of morals and values, not these criminals. that are placing innocent people on the list. And I'm just going to say it out loud, folks. And this is not that I agree or disagree with the lawsuit that was filed against Targeted Justice. I didn't even read it. Honestly, I didn't even read it. Just call me a messenger. I am a messenger. I have been a messenger in this community since 2017. I have spoken out from the day I gave my testimony to Ella Fraud. I did say that, folks. The day I gave my testimony to the Ella, the free one, who took down her website, took down her Facebook, the domain name is for sale, left the community, stole everybody's testimony and evidence. Back in 2017, I have been giving my testimony and providing documented evidence. And yes, Cheryl says I got screwed over by Ray Schumann, an attorney who I gave $100 to. Blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what, Cheryl? I'm going to share with you on the air because it's true and I could prove it. I also gave Ray Schumann $100 because he stated, I believe it was on Derek's call, that anybody who donates $100 will get a free hour of legal consultation. I readily donated the $100. I contacted him. 3 months go by. I get nothing. I email him again, nothing. So what did I do? I contacted the GoFundMe and I told them I wanted my money back. And because I paid with my credit card, I think it was American Express, I contacted American Express. So I contacted both of them and I told them that I did not get what I paid for. I was told that I would get an hour consultation. Maybe it was even 2 hours. I don't know. I would have been happy with an hour. I got nothing. Okay. But I will say that, and rest her soul, my friend Helena Chorba, she received a consultation. Why did she get a consultation and I didn't? And then Cheryl says that she didn't receive a consultation either. Don't do the false advertising. If you can't give what you say, then don't do it. It's very simple. We're targeted people. Do you have any idea how asset stripped we have all been? I donated money to billboards. I gave Ella gifts for her foster children. And they are foster children. They're not her kids, by the way. Just so you know, they're not her children. She never adopted any of them. They're her foster children. And she even admitted that she has fostered 23 of those foster children, but never once adopted. I digress. So yes, I have hours and hours on conference calls, and now and I'm a real targeted person, and this has got to end. And until the day I do these atrocities. And no, I'm not going to give up my money to somebody who's not going to guarantee me a payout. So I apologize, folks. I'm getting really pissed off here. Yes, Helena was a retired civil engineer. She was a retired civil engineer, and she was an activist. She was targeted by her local police department. Helena is a really smart, beautiful woman, and she declined. Her declining this married cop's advances put her on a watch list, and she's dead, by the way. Helena was magnificent. She was absolutely magnificent. You don't hear me? My signal is in and out. I bet the criminals have muted me. Let me just write something here. Um, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I just typed in the box. Okay, you hear me now. Okay, good. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay. Helena was amazing. She was a retired civil engineer. And as a civil engineer, she created a change.org petition to Joe Biden about Havana syndrome, and every week she posted an update. Every week she posted an update of her research, her FOIA requests. She was amazing. And then she raised $20,000 for a lawsuit. There is not one other person, not one moderator, nobody raised that kind of money for an attorney. And Helena she would have proceeded with that lawsuit. She was interviewing lawyers and they took her out. They took her out. They killed her. So I was just talking to her a few days before it happened. And of course, there is no cause of death, by the way, folks. No cause of death. And then they started harassing her daughter. Okay, what happened to the $20,000 is her daughter refunded the money to anybody that asked for a refund. I received my refunds. So donated to her GoFundMe. I looked just a few days ago and there is still $4,000 of the $20,000 left. So there are people that either were not aware that she passed away, didn't go about getting a refund. There were people I noticed that were still donating after she passed away. So that's the deal on that. I received my refund, and I know several other people that received their refund from that GoFundMe. Helena would never have taken that money, and neither would her daughter. But I will tell you, after Helena passed away, the wolves were contacting me about that money. The wolves in the community. I won't name the wolves. Some might be. But back to this lawsuit. So I think it's a wonderful lawsuit. I think it's a very well written. I'm impressed with the lawsuit. Um, but okay, yeah, I'm just reading comments in between. It's a wonderful, in my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. Written and researched lawsuit. Unfortunately, you and I are not a plaintiff in the lawsuit. And if the goal is to eliminate or declare unconstitutional the small portion of the watch list called non investigative subjects, well, come on, folks. It's already been proven that they move people from list to list. And once they get this lawsuit, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to be like, okay, there's a possibility this lawsuit could be won. Let's move like 1 million people off that list and let's move them. Let's create a new list. Let's call it something else. Let's call it let's see. Well, we could put them on the silent hit list, right, folks? Let's just move them all to the silent hit list. Or let's create a new list. You guys are all creative. Let's think of a new list for the FBI to put innocent people on. And once they win the lawsuit, we'll just move all of those NIS people to a new list. Oh, thank you for telling me that you're tracked by the New Jersey State Police. Maybe I am too. I will attest to the fact that Lieutenant Thomas Mansell, who is now a captain of the Manalapan Police Department, and the former retired Chief of Police, Michael Fountain, and you could view the lawsuit that his own police officer filed against him on my channel, are criminals. They're despicable predators that target divorced single women in the community. Predators. And my former Sutton Drive, Manalapan, New Jersey, 07726, where I lived for 30 years as original owner, they moved in next door to me. One criminal after the next. Then they moved in diagonal across from me, a detective. And then they moved another criminal diagonally across. I was triangulated. And then what they did is they tore down every one of my trees so that they could get me at night with their directed energy weapons. All of my trees were burned. Every one of them poisoned and burned. Trees that had been there for 20. And thank you, Jeff, for telling me that. Jeff says, I have never been able to get a response from Targeted Justice, and I'm always telling people to visit their site. I want to tell you something, Jeff. I applaud your perseverance in directing people to get information about targeting. But if you want to direct people to the right source, send them to Dr. Eric Karlstrom's website. He's doing it for everybody. He's not asking for a dime. He's not asking for a dime. And yes, I'm living in rural Kentucky, Jonathan. I'm still followed. I literally live on the edge of a national forest. I live on acres. You would think with that I'm protected. I was actually more protected in my two-story house in New Jersey because I had an attic, great insulation. I had been there for so long that I had all bases covered there. You can't possibly protect all this acreage. You just can't. And they've got criminals all around me, everywhere. They're parasites. They're cockroaches. They're everywhere. All of your websites. You always say, go to targetedjustice.com, targetedjustice.com. Well, I will tell you what Richard Lighthouse did to me. Okay, so when John Christiana filed a lawsuit, I did not read it. I didn't read it. I just forwarded it to my email list the way I do with every other important URL that somebody sends me. Am I cutting out again? It's intentional. Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. Just type a yes in the chat. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. The line is off. You can hear me now. Okay, so I passed around the URL and I got a threat letter. A threat. Can you hear me? Richard Lighthouse sent me a threatening email. He sent me a threatening email. I received a threatening email. Yes, yes. He sent me a threatening email. Do not ever contact me or any of my board members again. Now, meanwhile, I'm friends with one of the members. Why would you say something like that to me, right? And then I accidentally copied him because he was like a blind copy on one of my email lists that I got from someone else. And then he sent me the Texas stalking statute. Is that amazing? That's what he did to me for innocently sending a link to the lawsuit that I received. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? If somebody could just type a yes or no or whatever. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can, yes, I received two threatening letters from him. Tell good. Okay. Yes. Two threatening emails from Richard Lighthouse just because I sent a URL to my email list. That's not the way you treat somebody. I mean, is that unbelievable? Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. And then I sent him evidence about nanites that I found on my cats. He totally discredited. He said, "Well, did you use Vaseline?" I said, "No, I did not use Vaseline on my cats. I used a flea comb. I used a flea comb and I found these nanites." And he completely discredited it. I sent him burn marks on my body, because he keeps using Mitch Mathis's burns. Well, the burns that she receives, most people don't receive that much burn marks, and I feel for her that she's been burned so badly. But I get burned too, and I have photos of those burns all over my legs, and I'm sure you have photos too, but those are completely discounted. I have not seen changed burn mark photos on that website since 2017. Yes, it does suck. I received 2 threatening emails from Richard Lighthouse to never contact him or his board members again, just because I forwarded a link that I was provided because I was on an email list and I forwarded it to my email list. I mean, is that what you do to somebody? Is that the way you treat somebody? And at first, I ignored the first time, right? I figured, okay, he's having a bad day. I ignored it. And then when I erroneously, accidentally included him because he was blind copied on an email that somebody else sent me, then I get the Texas stalking statute from him. And it's like, this guy's out of control. So I mentioned it to a couple of people in the community. I'll tell you what they told me. Oh, ignore him. He drinks too much. That's, do I know that he drinks too much? I don't know that, but that's what I was told. Okay, that's what I was told by somebody, to just ignore him. So I'm breaking up. So anyway, I'm going to cut this short. I don't know if you could hear me now. I'm just gonna type in here. Exactly. Exactly, exactly, exactly. That's exactly. Perpetrators do that to a real targeted person. When you are speaking the truth about something, or if you do something by accident, come on, I've been in this community for a long time, and most people know who I am because I put the information out there. I moderated a podcast for 2 years. Okay, good. So, I moderated a podcast for 2 years, and I had a URL list that was disseminated to 110 people over 2 years, every month. Yes, and you were on the conference calls. Yes, I'm not on the conference calls too much anymore. I'm spending more time doing my YouTube videos, and now that I'm living here in Kentucky, I actually have less time than I had in New Jersey. I have less time because I've got these birds that drive me crazy during the day. So I'm doing other things. I have to clean out chicken coops, collect eggs. These are things that I did not do in New Jersey. So I know you cannot relate to that, but it just takes a lot of my extra time to clean up chicken coops and stuff, and they're really disgusting and yucky. Um, so, but yeah, so it was deeply, deeply disturbing. Okay, yes, yes, Jeff, that is excellent idea. And you are the one to do it because you are technically adept and you're very creative. And I would love for you to do that. I would love for you to create a short website where you can send people to learn about the program. Um, I agree. And also go to Dr. Eric Karlstrom. I'll type it in the that's Dr. Eric Karlstrom. He has some magnificent articles, and he also has he puts out an occasional email about his new articles and stuff. But if you want to learn more about the program, you go there because he digs deep. He really digs deep. He digs into the satanic ritual abuse, the MK Ultra, the COINTELPRO, um, let's see. All right, let me go find it. Let me do a quickie search here. Um, Okay, I'm gonna get his website for you. Oh, here it is. 1 second, let me get it. It's Eric Hallstrom, Gang Stalking, Mind Control, and Cults, Cults. And this is the program. This is the program in a nutshell. Yes, we've got the terrorist watch list. But after you're on the watch list, you then go, you're then pushed down to the KST list and you are disseminated. You got the Freemasons harassing you with their ritual abuse, the satanic ritual abuse, local satanic cults, the local sheriff's department, the police, the local police, the cops program, COPS program, the county prosecutor, the sheriff's department, your neighbors that are paid to do this, they sign those national security letters. So if they violate their national security letter, let's say they feel sorry for you and they say, you know what, I got this letter. And if somebody finds out that they did that, I believe, and don't quote me on this, I believe that they could be fined $10,000 for revealing that they signed the national security letter. Okay, folks. So I hear what you're saying, Jeff. I hear what you're saying. It's a very long website, the name, but what you can do is tell them to go to Dr. Eric Karlstrom. If you type his name in any search, you will find his name and it will automatically take you to this website. And remember, he is a doctor, so he's performed a lot of research, and his website's been around for a while. And there are other websites too. There are other good websites. In fact, I would have to find it, and he's on YouTube, and he's dead. He was annihilated. His name is oh my goodness, it's just escaping me right now. It is the criminals are blocking it. um Breedlove, Breedlove, and his first name, and I'll spell it. It's ZAOS, Breed Love Ewing. Go to he's got 2 YouTube channels. They're still up. In his YouTubes, he posts links about black goo, the poisons, the aerosols. You have to, and he has binaural beats that he created himself. And he said that you can create a Faraday cage in your house if you own a house. See, now the powers that be got rid of metal screens. Windows always had screens that were made out of woven mesh metal. And then they got rid of the woven mesh metal, and now it's a plastic or a rubber. It's like a plastic. If you can find the mesh and put it on every one of your windows and you connect them together, he says you can create a Faraday cage for your whole apartment or entire house by linking all of these screens on your windows together. Yes, Jeff. Yes, yes, yes. There's a lot of information out there, but go to this guy, Zachos Breedlove Ewing, and you're gonna have to comb through some of his videos. He's got 2, and you could read the comment section and stuff, and people loved this man. He was young. I think he was only like in his early 30s. And he flew to Canada. They would not give him asylum there. He came back. He was homeless. And then he's sitting on a bench and they hit him with directed energy weapons and they killed him. Yes, GOO, the black goo. What they do is, they like to create black mold. It's the plausible deniability. What they do is they come into your house and they will poke very tiny holes in the rubber or plastic or whatever it is, the sealer on your windows and doors. Tiny, tiny little pinholes all around. And then you'll get the condensation and the moisture on your windows, and that creates the black mold. That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it, Jeff. Yes, that's it. That's one of his channels, and but you have to you that's exactly right. The black mold. I've got it in my house. I have to clean it all the time because they poke those pinholes around every one of my windows. So I have photographs of it. I should post the photos online of all the condensation on my windows. It's crazy. Yes. Yeah, Brittany Murphy was targeted. I believe she was a sacrifice. She was one of those satanic sacrifices that people don't like to talk about, but I might be one. They put all these little triangle pieces of glass all over my property. These sick losers. But yes, but this Zachos Breedlove Ewing, he was quite brilliant, and he's got really good music to listen to. That's very helpful. Like people have reported, he's got a parasite cleanse. He's got a parasite cleanse uh, that he created. And then if you go into some of his links, it takes you to his blog. And in his blog, he's got a lot of articles and he talks about the parasites, um, sort of like Dr. Brian Ardis was talking about, the snakes, in the I can't talk about it on, the experimental magic potion thing. I'm not allowed to talk about it on YouTube, um, but he talks about this. Uh, I'll I'll write the word in the chat. And see, Zachos discusses this in his blog. This is years ago, years, and this is what they do. This is what these sick people do. They will take like a scorpion, and a scorpion is venomous, and they'll take another critter that's venomous. And this is so gross, disgusting. I mean, animal rights people should get all over this stuff. And they will take these two angry, venomous creatures and put them in a jar together to fight each other until one dies. And they will take the venom from that and use it as a poison. This is a fact, folks. They use it as a poison. So, I mean, it's pretty disgusting. But I'm going to have to end this chat. I mean, I see that we're in here 43 minutes already. Yes, OMG is right. OMG, but go to Zachos Ewing's uh, blog. Okay, I'll type his name again. Once you go to his YouTube channel, you'll have to find his links. You'll have to find his links that take you to his blog. And his blog is, it's old school. It's the old technology, but it's still there. It's really good research. Really good. And ironically, what he discusses years ago, a Dr. Brian Ardis, who interviewed me about my mother's murder in the hospital last year during the whatever experimental thing, He's done research on this. And meanwhile, this young guy, Zachos, had studied this years before, and it just confirms what new doctors are researching and reporting on the topic. Yeah, yeah, thank you. My mother was perfectly healthy. My mother was given a seizure in her sleep. My mother became targeted by these criminals. They blinded her cat. My mother believed me. She witnessed. Yes. Oh, that's so interesting. See, I don't watch TV. Like, I don't know anything about the X Files. Like, when people start, sending me clips about movies and TV shows, I don't watch TV. This is all new to me, but I know about predictive programming. Like, I actually studied it. I actually studied it in university about predictive programming. But no, I've never watched the X-Files, but I believe you because, you know, the devil has to tell you what they're doing, and, it's like for eyes to see. They call us useful idiots because they're putting it right in our face, right? And we're not paying attention. So they think of us as idiots. But us idiots are waking up to their nonsense, and we're not gonna take it anymore. They tell us exactly what they're going to do. There's a movie that I watched twice now. It is very disturbing. It's called, I'll type it in, it's called The Cell. You have to watch this. It's on YouTube. You could watch the whole thing on YouTube. And then there is a YouTube creator who's now on Rumble, and I'm gonna type his channel. You have to watch his video. They're banned from YouTube. He cannot play any of them on YouTube. I just typed his name in the chat. You can find him on YouTube, but what he'll do is when he has a new video, he will redirect you to Rumble. And he does like incredible research, like really good, good stuff. Um and he's a young guy. He looks like he's in his late 20s, maybe he's early 30s, African American guy. Great like editing skills, and some of his videos are like 2 and 3 hours long. They're just incredible. They're riveting actually. And what he does is he takes clips from these predictive programming movies and cartoons and stuff like The Simpsons. Like, I've only watched The Simpsons a couple of times. Like, I just never liked them. I thought that they were I just never liked them. But he takes clips from The Simpsons, like old clips, and it's so disturbing. Um, but anyway, um, I don't I don't remember if she's in there. No, there's a guy who's in there, and I'm forgetting his name. He was popular, like the Brat Pack. He was like maybe part of the Brat Pack guys. I forget his name. He was in that romantic movie where he's holding up like the speakers in front of his girlfriend's window. I'm forgetting his name. Oh my goodness. And I've watched The Cell, and I watched that movie. No, it's not Vince Vaughn. No. No, Vince Vaughn is older. It's not him. It's a younger guy with black hair. John, that's it. That's his name. Cusack. Cusack? That's it. That's it. That's his name. Yes. Yes, he's in the film. Yes, that's him. Yes, and what it's the movie starts out, I'm not gonna give it away, but he starts out, he's at an airport, and everybody's on their cell phone, and I'm not gonna say anything else about it. And then this guy, Net Most Wanted, he's a YouTube creator who's now on Rumble. He takes a lot of clips from the old, um, TV show called The Twilight Zone. Now, I'm gonna tell you folks, this is back in the day, like, I'm in my 60s, so I remember my mother used to watch The Twilight Zone. She used to watch The Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and this guy, Net Most Wanted, he takes all those old clips, and he splices them into his new research about the predictive programming stuff. But yeah, so the Twilight Zone, the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, oh, the Stepford Wives, like all of these old films, and then they have been injecting witchcraft into the programming for decades. Like I Dream Genie. Oh, you're my age? Yeah, I'm 64. And now, like, I'm thinking about that old Beatles song about when I'm 64. Like, I'm finally there. Um, and, yeah, so, what was that? Yeah, The Invasion of the Body Snatchers, The Twilight Zone, The Stepford Wives. Oh, The Witchcraft. What about Bewitched? Did you I mean, I grew up watching Bewitched, wiggling her nose and, like, all the front like, her bed would be made and stuff, and I was, like, so jealous. It's like, I wanna be able to do that. But meanwhile, this is, like, right in front of our face. All this witchcraft is in front of our face. They've been programming us that it's a possibility. Cusack, yes, Cusack, yes. So, well, happy early birthday. So you're an Aquarius. But, the Twilight see, now I would have to go back and watch them knowing what I know now about life, because I'm gonna tell you, I grew up, and I'm telling you, you would laugh, though. You would laugh at me. If you knew me then, you would laugh. I was the most naive little girl on the planet. Like, I used to get teased for being so naive. I kid you not. I'm not naive anymore, folks. I grew out of that. I grew out of I grew out of it. My ex-husband taught me a good lesson about being naive. And the legal system. But and the legal system, SUCKS, folks. I mean, it's quite a possibility that my very long divorce got me originally recommended. It's very possible. My ex-husband had some of the worst lawyers on the planet. Oh, I had some worse lawyers on the planet too. But yeah, the Stepford Wives. Yeah, the Stepford Wives. There were some I mean, I used to watch a lot of TV, back then, but not now. Like, I remember, like, the Ed Sullivan Show, and he had that little mouse like Pompo Gigio. Yeah, that's how old I am. I remember the Ed Sullivan Show and the Sonny and Cher Show, um, and Michael Jackson. I'm gonna tell you something, kind of cute and funny just because I just remembered it now. Like, everybody knows who Michael Jackson is, right? And you know that he's had all kinds of surgeries and stuff like that, and his skin got lighter as he got older. Well, this is back in New Jersey, and my daughter, I'm gonna say she's probably around 10, 11 years old, and we are watching we are watching a Jackson 5 Michael Jackson documentary, and she looks at Michael Jackson as a little cute little black boy with a little afro and stuff, and she points to him and she said, "That's not Michael Jackson." She says, "Michael Jackson is a white girl." I kid you not. I kid I if my daughter told you told knew that I was saying this on this live, she would kill me. But yeah, my daughter thought that Michael Jackson was a white girl. But anyway, yes, yes. You're naive, Jeff? No. Well, you know what? Naive is good. Naive is innocence, right? It's a kind of innocence. Um, but we don't want to be so naive that it's harmful, right? And nasty people take advantage of innocent, naive people. And yes, Lisa Marie Presley died, quote unquote, suddenly, unquote. She's 54 years old. Yes, she died. Thank you for mentioning that. I'm just reading your comments here. Jeff is a Gemini, Sarah's a Pisces. I'm a Cancer, by the way. I'm Cancer. I'm in July. I like Aquarius airs. I like the air signs too. I actually, in my family, like almost all of my family members are Gemini. You hear my birds? And they're outside with my door closed. This is how this is how loud they are. No, actually, they're coming onto my porch because it's raining outside. Yeah. Oh, happy early birthday. The 20th. Yes, yes. Yes, those birds, I'm telling you, they're crazy. I when I go to open up their coop in the morning, it's like I talk to myself and I say, "Do I have to open the door? Do I have to let them out?" And it's like, I open up the door and they come flying out. Sometimes, like, if I stand in front of the door, they will fly right into my face. Yes, Michael Jackson is a white girl. I kid you not. My daughter said that. And I looked at her, I just cracked up because she saw Michael Jackson. Remember how cute he was? He was this cute little, he had this huge afro. Do you remember him when he was that little? And, so she's seeing him dancing around and knowing what he looks like now, and she says, "Mom, that's not Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is a white girl." I said, "Dana, like, do you know what you just said? He's not a white girl. Michael's not a girl." But she was young. I think she was like 10 years old at the time. Oh, yeah, she's had some funny things to say. She's a Gemini too, so, Geminis, they just come out with stuff. Um, yeah, she did say that. No, Michael Jackson's a white girl. But anyway, guys, it's been fun chatting, and at least we're leaving on a lighthearted note. All of your family members are cancers. That's interesting. Um, I'm actually one of two in my family, and that's it. I've got Geminis coming out of my ears, like Geminis all over the place. In fact, I have a cousin that is a triple Gemini. That means her moon, her ascendant, and her sun is all in Gemini. It's all cerebral. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm actually on the cusp of Cancer and Leo, but I'm definitely a Cancer. But no, actually, I'm really a Scorpio because that's my rising sign. Like, if you met me in person, you would not think me a Cancer. You'd say, "Oh my god, she's a Scorpio." Um, but your last name, oh, is that what that means in Italian? Piccioni is a pigeon. Oh, that's so interesting. My last name Valente means valiant. Valiant, Valint, valiant. He was so cute. Like, Michael Jackson was the cutest thing. Like, I actually, on my phone right now, my alarm to wake me up in the morning is his ABC song. Um, I just love it. It's like it just brings back so many fond memories. So many fond memories. I love the Jackson 5. I had so much fun. And I actually went to my mother bought me and my daughter his 30th reunion concert at Madison Square Garden the night before 9/11. My daughter and I were there. It was pouring rain. It was the most amazing show that I had ever seen. And then, of course, I wake up the next morning to the Twin Towers falling down. So, but so with regard to Jeff, because you're on the TJ website a lot. If you could let me know if you're able to get through and add your name to that list, I'd be really curious. I have not been to the website in maybe a couple of weeks. I'll go there once in a while to see if any good articles are posted or whatever. But I haven't been there in a couple of weeks, so I just don't know. And I did post the attorney's information in the comments section. Deb had posted it 5 times. I never saw it. It disappeared all 5 times, but I think I know why. It's not the criminals that did this. I think YouTube removed it because the email address was in there. They don't like for you to post an email address in a comment section. I mean, you could post, you can post a website, but you cannot post an email address. So I'm pretty sure that's why. But yeah, the birds are they're too funny. But what happens with the birds when they're chirping like that? They're usually alerting me that there's something on the property. Like when UPS or Federal Express drive down, they go crazy. Yeah, I love that song ABC. I love it. But the birds go crazy because that's what they're supposed to do. They are supposed to be an alarm system. They're supposed to alert me to something unusual on the property. And what happens is they're getting hit with directed energy weapons. They and you could hear it. They are targeting the animals on the roof of their buildings, the metal roof. You could hear the loud bangs coming in, targeting them. So it freaks them out. And this will happen 11 o'clock at night. My roosters will start crowing at 11 o'clock at night after they've been asleep for, since 6 o'clock. And that's because somebody is hitting the roof of their building, causing them to crow. It's not normal. That's how evil these people are. They're evil and sick. Oh yeah, that song Ben. Yeah, the song Ben by Michael Jackson is very sad. And to think he's talking about like a rat, right? He's talking about a rodent, but actually rodents are supposed to be really clean animals. Like everybody thinks they're dirty. And I mean honestly, like when I lived in New York City and I'd be waiting for the subway, you would see them scurrying around in the subway tracks, and it's like it totally turns you off, folks. That's why you need cats around. That's why you cannot you can't get rid of the cats because your rodent population will grow exponentially. So, yes, they do target the animals, folks. My cats get burned. I actually witnessed my cat getting hit with directed energy weapon and killing my cat the night before the Manalapan police criminals showed up on my driveway with Tina Booth to discredit the fact that branches were burned and torn off the tree in front of my house. It's all premeditated. They're criminals, folks. They need to be taken down. The real domestic terrorists are the ones placing you and I on the terrorist watch list. Those are the real criminals. The only thing you can do is like hold him, whatever. I know that my cats, cats love boxes. So I get a lot of pet food delivery, so I keep the cardboard boxes in their house, and they like to go in there. That seems to help a little bit. And actually, you can get magnets and post them around like where he sleeps, or mirrors. Mirrors are supposed to be good to reflect upward. Um, and a rubber yoga mat um, is supposed to help a little bit. So but, I'm gonna get going, folks. I was supposed to get a phone call today. I've had so many people contact me about this lawsuit, about talking to me. Um, it's, uh it's a little disturbing. It's, I'm not gonna say any more because this is a live, right? But, I'm looking forward to seeing what the response is because they have to receive a response. And I'm going to tell you the way these things work. So they will either receive a response throwing the whole thing out, right? They'll get a response to prolong it. I forget what it's called. It's an extension, right? Another 60 days, 30 days. They'll take a portion of it and throw it out. They'll take a portion of it and address it. Or there'll be some kind of a settlement off the books with a gag order. Okay, that's usually the way these things work. If there is some kind of a settlement with a gag order, you can kiss the future lawsuits goodbye. So, anyway, um, but at least we have the format. The one good thing about this lawsuit is that it is extremely detailed, long, it's very well written, and you could use the formatting and the wording because most of it, a lot of it is not their own. It's taken from the terrorist watch list. It's taken from other people, but you do have to cite these things accurately. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you all for chiming into this very impromptu live rather than record something and have it stop in the middle because I have to uh, take it, put everything on my zip drive again. um I wanted to get on the live and just at least have this recorded. So anyway, thank you all so much for joining in. And Jeff, I'm looking so forward to you're doing a little bit more research on this. Oh, thank you so much, Sarah and Linda, and who else? Cheryl and um, uh, the pigeon guy. Thank you everybody for joining in. Hope everybody's having a good day. Yes, the angels are on our side. And I actually have some more angels. I ordered some more angels. Oh, and then one more thing. One more thing. Yes, Jonathan, you, Jonathan. We are now at 505 subscribers. Overnight, we went from 499 to 505 subscribers. So thank you, thank you. I'm clapping my hands, everybody. Thank you. Keep sharing this information, get it out there. I'm looking forward to getting to 1,000 so we could, get more live streams going and get monetized. And unfortunately, then when you get monetized, you have commercial breaks and stuff like that. But thank you everybody for sharing and subscribing and liking and commenting. Your comments are priceless, very important to me. And on the gorilla guy, just as a side, I haven't filed my complaint yet because more stuff keeps pouring in, and I just want to make sure I have everything together, and I have to be in the mood to do it because it's a little bit time consuming. But thank you everybody, and I'm gonna go check on my chickens. And by the way, it is snowing here, so it rained, and now we've got snow coming down, so I'm not a happy camper. But I'm gonna sign off for now. And I hope everybody has a great day.